The Strait of Hormuz is not merely a waterway. It is the world's most critical oil transit point. Every day, approximately 21 million barrels of crude oil pass through this narrow channel between Iran and Oman. That represents 1/3 of all seaborne traded oil globally. The strait's narrowest point measures exactly 21 nautical miles from shore to shore, with shipping lanes compressed into corridors barely 2 miles wide in each direction. Iran controls the entire northern coastline, approximately 800 miles of strategic territory. For 4 decades, Tehran has fortified this coastline with layered defenses. Mobile C-802 anti-ship missile batteries costing $1.2 million per launcher, networked radar installations, hundreds of fast attack boats, and underground bunker complexes housing additional missiles. The Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps Navy operates approximately 1,500 fast attack craft of various types from bases along this coast. Their doctrine is simple: saturation attacks in confined waters where American technological advantages are minimized. For years, Iranian officials have threatened to close the strait during moment of tension, knowing the global economic consequences would be catastrophic. Oil prices would spike. Supply chains would fracture. The world economy would shudder. But these threats remain theoretical until this hypothetical scenario tests whether Iran could actually execute such an operation. 12 p.m. 3 American destroyers enter the strait from the Gulf of Oman. USS Gravely leads the formation. Her SBY 1D phase array radar can simultaneously track more than 100 targets and guide missiles toward multiple threats. The Aegis Combat System represents 4 decades of American naval engineering, capable of coordinating fleet-wide air defense. USS Laboon follows 4,000 yards astern, her system synchronized with Gravely's through data links. USS Mason brings up the rear, specializing in electronic warfare with /SLQ, 32 systems that can jam enemy radars and missile guidance. Each destroyer carries 90 to 96 vertical launch cells loaded with a mix of weapons. SM-2 standard missiles for long-range air defense at $2.4 million each. Evolved Sea Sparrow missiles for medium range at $1.4 million each. Rolling Airframe missiles for point defense at $900,000 each. And Tomahawk cruise missiles for strike missions at $1.9 million each. Behind them, 5 commercial oil tankers proceed in column, each carrying 2 million barrels of crude worth approximately $160 million. The convoy maintains 12 knots, standard transit speed. On the surface, this is routine. Beneath that routine, 2:30 p.m., the 3 destroyers reach the narrowest section of the strait. Iranian territory stretches along both sides. Limited maneuvering room. Captain Michelle Rodriguez commands USS Gravely from her chair on the bridge. She has 22 years of naval service, 2 combat deployments, and an instinct that something is wrong. Iranian radar activity is elevated. Her tactical officer reports. Multiple surface search radars active. More than normal. Rodriguez orders heightened alert status. Stay sharp, everyone. Something feels off. 3:15 p.m. U.S. Signals Intelligence detects encrypted Iranian communications. Revolutionary Guard units are coordinating on military frequencies. Traffic volume is unusual. Pattern analysis suggests attack indicators. The warning transmits to all 3 destroyers. Threat level elevated. Iranian military activity unusual. Recommend combat readiness. All 3 ships go to heightened alert. Aegis systems switch to full active mode. Weapons crews man their stations. Electronic warfare teams activate countermeasure systems. The oil tankers behind them continue forward, unaware. 3:45 p.m. Iranian Revolutionary Guard Naval Commander issues the final order in this scenario. American ships are in the kill box. Execute Operation Martyrdom. Fire all missiles. Sink those ships. The order transmits via encrypted burst transmission to all 9 firing positions simultaneously. 3:47 p.m. Iran launches everything. For coastal missile batteries, fire 24C-802 missiles in a carefully timed sequence. Each launcher fires 1 missile every 3 seconds, creating a wave of threats. The missiles ignite with white-orange flames, climb to 100 feet altitude, then drop to sea skimming mode barely 15 feet above the water. Their active radar seekers lock onto the American destroyers. Flight time to target, 90 to 120 seconds, depending on range. Simultaneously, 12 Iranian fast attack boats fire 18C 704 missiles from closer positions. These smaller missiles streak toward the destroyers from multiple bearings, north, south, east. The boats scatter immediately after firing, attempting to avoid retaliation. 2 island positions launch 10 additional missiles from hidden mobile launchers, adding to the swarm. 52 missiles total, all converging on 3 ships from every direction. Complete encirclement. This is the saturation attack Iranian doctrine relies upon. Overwhelm defenses with sheer numbers, accepting that many missiles will be destroyed as long as some penetrate. 3:47 and 8 seconds p.m. USS Gravely spy. 1D radar detects the launches instantly. The system's powerful phase array sweeps the entire airspace 12 times per second, tracking every object. Automated alerts scream across the Combat Information Center. Vampire, vampire, vampire. The naval call sign for anti-ship missiles. Multiple inbound anti-ship missiles. Count 52 missiles. Bearing multiple. Range 12 to 30 nautical miles. Captain Rodriguez doesn't hesitate. General quarters. All hands battle stations. Engage all threats. This is not a drill. USS Laboon and USS Mason receive identical warnings simultaneously. Their Aegis systems detect the same missile swarm. 3 destroyers, perfectly synchronized through data links, begin coordinating their defense. Each ship's combat system automatically calculates which missiles it will engage, preventing multiple ships from wasting interceptors on the same target. The Aegis system prioritizes threats based on range, speed, and probability of hit. Missiles targeting the lead ship get priority. Missiles coming from the most dangerous angles, those hardest to evade, get priority. The system calculates firing solutions in milliseconds. 3:47 and 20 seconds p.m. All 3 destroyers begin firing SM-2 standard missiles. The vertical launch cells open with explosive force. Missiles burst upward on pillars of flame, then tilt toward their targets. Fush, fush, fush. Continuous launches. Each SM-2 costs $2.4 million, weighs 1,560 pounds, and carries a 115-pound blast fragmentation warhead. They accelerate to Mach 3.5, racing toward the incoming Iranian missiles. 64 SM-2 interceptors launch in 40 seconds, a furious rate of fire that empties a significant portion of each destroyer's magazine. The missiles stream outward, radar-guided, hunting Iranian threats. The SM-2 is designed for exactly this mission, fleet air defense against anti-ship missiles. But 64 interceptors versus 52 targets sounds comfortable until you calculate that not every interceptor will hit. Real-world intercept rates against sea-skimming missiles are approximately 80% to 90% under ideal conditions. This is not ideal. Multiple missiles coming from multiple directions. Some will penetrate the first layer. 3:48 p.m. First intercepts begin 20 nautical miles out. Boom, boom, boom. The first Iranian C-802 explodes in a massive fireball as an SM-2 detonates within lethal radius. The blast shreds the missile's airframe. Debris tumbles into the strait below, trailing smoke. Second missile destroyed. Third, fourth, fifth, explosions fill the sky. The SM-2s are performing exactly as designed, achieving intercept rates near 85%. But the mathematics are unforgiving. 64 interceptors kill approximately 54 to 55 targets if they all function perfectly. There are 52 incoming missiles. The margin is razor thin, and not all 64 interceptors will fire. Some are held in reserve for follow-on threats, as doctrine requires. In reality, approximately 48 SM-2s engage the initial wave. They destroy approximately 41 Iranian missiles. 11 missiles penetrate the first defensive layer. They continue inbound, now 12 nautical miles from the destroyers. Flight time, 45 seconds. 3:48 and 30 seconds p.m. The three destroyers fire rolling airframe missiles, the second defensive layer. These are point defense weapons designed to kill threats that penetrate the outer screen. Each destroyer carries 21 ram missiles in a rotating launcher. The weapons are smaller, faster reacting, and highly maneuverable. They use both radar and infrared seekers to home on the incoming missile's engine heat and radar emissions. 36 ram missiles launch across the three ships. They cost $900,000 each, but that calculation is irrelevant now. The 8th Iranian missile explodes. 9th, 10th through 18th. The rams are devastatingly effective at close range, achieving near-perfect intercept rates against remaining threats. But Iranian missile number 19, 20, 21, and 22 continue. They are the fastest, the lowest, the hardest to track. For missiles remain locked on target. Range, 5 nautical miles. Time to impact, 30 seconds. 3:49 p.m. Electronic warfare systems activate across all three destroyers. The N/SLQ. 32 systems blast the Iranian missiles with powerful jamming signals, attempting to confuse their active radar seekers. Chaff launchers fire, deploying clouds of metallic strips that create false targets on radar. Decoy flares shoot into the air, generating heat signatures to lure infrared seekers. 3 of the remaining 4 Iranian missiles lose their locks. Their guidance systems, overwhelmed by jamming and distracted by false targets, lose correlation with the real ships. The missiles circle, searching, then crash into the water as their fuel expires. 1 missile remains. Iranian C-802 number 14, launched from the coastal battery at Keshem Island. Its seeker maintains lock on USS Gravely despite all countermeasures. Range, 800 meters. Time to impact, 10 seconds. 4 p.m. 72 JSSMER cruise missiles from the B-1B bombers reached deeper targets inside Iran. These weapons were already programmed with coordinates before the Iranian attack even occurred. Intelligence assets had pre-identified every significant military facility along Iran's southern coast. Bandar Abbas Naval Base, home to Revolutionary Guard headquarters that would have planned such an ambush in this scenario, struck by 24 JASSMs. The headquarters building collapses under repeated hits. Command staff casualties would be severe. Communications centers are destroyed. Operations bunkers, even hardened ones, are penetrated by 1,000-pound warheads designed for that purpose. JAS Naval Facility, Coordination Center for Strait Operations, hit by 18 JASSMs. Control buildings flatten. Fuel depots erupt. Abu Musa Island Forward Staging Base, struck by 12 JASSMs. The garrison is destroyed. Weapons storage is eliminated. Bandar Bushehr Naval Installation, Support Base, hit by 18 JASSMs. Maintenance facilities burn. Supply warehouses collapse. Personnel barracks are flattened. These are not precision strikes on military hardware alone. These are deliberate, systematic destruction of Iran's entire command and support infrastructure. 4:02 p.m. 4 F-15E Strike Eagle strike Iranian missile production and storage. Missile assembly plant near Bandar Abbas. 16 GBU. 38 JDM bombs. The 500-pound warheads penetrate manufacturing halls. Production equipment shatters. Assembly lines collapse. Iran cannot build new C-802 missiles without this facility, and replacing it will take years. Underground missile storage bunker, 12 dams. The bunker entrance collapses after repeated hits. Missiles stored inside are buried under thousands of tons of rubble. Intelligence estimates suggest 40 additional C-802s were stored here. Total value destroyed, approximately $48 million in missiles that will never be fired. Maintenance facility, 20 dams. Repair capability eliminated. Spare parts inventories burn. Iran's ability to maintain its remaining missiles is now crippled. 4:05 p.m. The 72 Tomahawk missiles fired from the 3 destroyers strike Iranian military command infrastructure across southern Iran. Iranian Southern Regional Military Command in Bandar Abbas. 16 Tomahawks. The building housing the general staff collapses. Communications are severed. 3 Revolutionary Guard Regional Headquarters. 42 Tomahawks distributed across 3 targets. Command structure eliminated. Coordination capability destroyed. Without regional command, Iranian military forces cannot coordinate responses. 2 Air Defense Coordination Centers. 14 Tomahawks. These facilities control Iran's SAM network. They no longer exist. Iran cannot direct remaining air defenses even if radars were operational. 4:08 p.m. The 32 F/A 18 Super Hornets conduct secondary strikes against logistics and production targets. 6 Iranian ammunition depots, struck with 96 JSOW bombs. Each depot suffers chain reaction explosions as stored munitions detonate. Mushroom clouds rise over 3 separate locations. Thousands of missiles, rockets, and artillery rounds stored for potential future operations are destroyed simultaneously. For fuel refineries supplying military operations, hit with 48 SOs. Massive fireballs erupt. Iran's military fuel supply for southern operations is eliminated. Vehicles, aircraft, and ships cannot operate without fuel. 3 radar production facilities, 36 SOs. Manufacturing capability destroyed. Iran cannot replace the 32 radars destroyed earlier. 2 training centers, 24 SOs. Officer training facilities collapse. Barracks housing trainees are flattened. 4:12 p.m. 8 British Royal Navy Typhoon fighters, operating from RAF Akrotiri in Cyprus as part of the joint task force in the scenario, joined the strike with 32 Storm Shadow cruise missiles. The Storm Shadow is a Franco-British weapon with a 250-kilometer range and 450-kilogram warhead designed to penetrate hardened targets. For Iranian naval maintenance facilities, all struck. Dry docks collapse. Crane systems topple. Ship repair capability is destroyed. Iran cannot maintain its remaining naval vessels without these facilities. 4:15 p.m. Final strike wave. The 4 F-15E Strike Eagles hit Iranian surveillance and early warning installations. 8 observation posts monitoring the Strait of Hormuz, destroyed with precision bombs. Iran can no longer watch the shipping lanes. For communications relay stations, eliminated. Regional military communications are disrupted beyond repair in the short term. 2 satellite ground stations, obliterated. Iran cannot receive intelligence data from overhead assets. 4:24 p.m. Operation Iron Guardian. The American counterstrike in this hypothetical scenario is complete. Total time elapsed since Iranian attack began, 37 minutes. Total ordnance delivered, 64 HARM anti-radiation missiles, 128 JSOW glide bombs, 72 JSS-MER cruise missiles, 72 Tomahawk cruise missiles, 128 Hellfire missiles, 48 JDM precision bombs, 32 Storm Shadow missiles. Total, 544 precision weapons delivered against Iranian targets. Combined cost of ordnance expended, approximately $658 million. Targets destroyed. For Iranian coastal missile batteries, 12 fast attack boats, 2 island missile positions, 6 naval bases. For command centers, 6 ammunition depots. For fuel refineries, 3 production facilities, 32 radar installations, 8 observation posts, 14 supporting facilities. In total, 19 major Iranian military bases destroyed and 38 supporting facilities eliminated. Estimated Iranian casualties in this scenario, 3,124 military personnel, including Revolutionary Guard naval forces, missile crews, command staff, and support units. Allied losses, 3 U.S. sailors wounded aboard USS Gravely with minor hull damage repaired within 1 week. 0 combat aircraft losses. All aircraft returned safely. All helicopters recovered. All ships operational. The strategic calculus is overwhelming. Iran's entire military infrastructure along its southern coast has been functionally eliminated in this hypothetical engagement. Naval bases destroyed. Missile batteries obliterated. Fast attack boat fleet sunk. Command structure collapsed. Ammunition gone. Fuel gone. Radars gone. Production capability gone. This infrastructure took 40 years to build, fortify, and position. It was eliminated in 37 minutes. At 3:47 p.m., Iran ambushed 3 U.S. destroyers with 52 missiles in the Strait of Hormuz, a perfect kill box with complete encirclement. At 4:24 p.m., 37 minutes later, all missiles were defeated with 3 wounded and all ships operational, while 19 Iranian bases lay destroyed. 57 facilities were eliminated, and Iran had suffered over 3,000 casualties. Iran attempted to close the Strait of Hormuz and instead lost its entire southern military capability. The cost ratio is stark. Iran expended approximately $62 million in missiles. The United States expended approximately $658 million in weapons to destroy over $8 billion in Iranian military infrastructure and capability. But the real cost of Iran is not measured in dollars. It is measured in decades of military buildup erased in half an hour. This scenario demonstrates several doctrinal realities. First, saturation attacks against Aegis-equipped destroyers require far more than 52 missiles to guarantee success. Analysis suggests that 200-plus missiles fired simultaneously would be necessary to overwhelm 3 destroyers' defenses, a capability Iran does not possess. Second, attacking U.S. Navy warships guarantees immediate, overwhelming retaliation not just against the attacking units, but against the entire military infrastructure supporting those units. The U.S. response doctrine is clear. You attack our ships, we destroy your Navy. Third, in an era of precision weapons and network warfare, geographic advantage matters less than technological advantage. Iran's fortified coastline provided no protection against weapons that can strike from 500 miles away with meter-level precision. Fourth, the economic mathematics of modern warfare are brutal. Iran cannot replace what was destroyed. The weapons, facilities, and trained personnel lost in this hypothetical 37 minutes would require a decade and tens of billions of dollars to reconstitute. Resources Iran does not have under sanctions. The Strait of Hormuz remains open. In this scenario, Iran's attempt to close it resulted in catastrophic defeat. The strategic lesson is clear. Threatening global oil flows guarantees a military response that Iran cannot survive. The strait will never close because closing it means Iran loses its entire military capability in the south, the very capability it would need to keep the strait closed. This is a paradox of Iran's strait closure strategy. Using the capability reveals its locations, and revealing its locations ensures its destruction. Now I want to hear from you. In a hypothetical scenario like this, do you think saturation attacks can overcome modern air defense systems, or has technology shifted too far in favor of defenders? What would Iran need to successfully close the Strait of Hormuz, even temporarily? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow for more in-depth strategic analysis of modern military scenarios.